When I was telling one of my loved ones about my friend who was hit by a car when riding his bike, and it was totally not his fault. It was so not his fault, the driver even admitted that it was his fault. I leave that story to my buddy Matt, so be sure to stick around. But I told one of my loved ones who was not a cyclist about what had happened to him, and they said, should have been more careful. Biking is dangerous. And to us cyclists, this is a completely ass-backward way of thinking, because cycling isn't dangerous. People don't get hurt because they're cycling. They get hurt because they're hit by a car. Cars are dangerous. And for people that don't bike, especially in the United States, that's a very car-centric culture. It is almost never the driver's fault, and it was always the cyclist's fault because it's their fault for riding a bike. The take that you should just be more careful if you're biking and you get hit by a car or otherwise seriously hurt, even if it is completely not your fault. Like, that is just a smooth brain take. I'm sorry. Maybe people shouldn't hit other people with their cars. Should have been more careful. Should have told that guy not to hit me with his car. But you know what you don't have to be careful about? This message from our sponsor, Wabi Cycles. Wabi makes top-tier steel fixed gears and single speeds that are the most fun bikes that I've ever ridden. Be sure to stick around to the end of the video to learn more about them. I literally almost died. I had such a close near miss that could have just immediately wiped me off the face of the earth just a week prior, and I told this loved one about it, and they didn't really seem to care. So I had a really long day one day, and when I have a long day, I normally don't get to ride my bike. Ironic that when I'm busy making videos for this channel, I don't get to ride my bike. So normally at the end of those days, at like 6 p.m., I just do a quick loop around the neighborhood that I always do. It's just super fast, 2 miles, gets the heart pumping, gets me feeling good. Except this time, I was really booking it. Despite it being super windy and going against the wind for half of my loop, I made my fastest time this day. And while I was turning through a 4-way stop intersection left onto the street that I live on, I hear sirens off in the distance to my right. So I think, okay, I'll get through the intersection, pull over, let the sirens do their thing. About 2 seconds after I crossed through the intersection and pulled over to the right, an Audi going 65 miles an hour in a residential 25-mile-an-hour zone completely blows through the stop sign, whizzes past me with a police car chasing not that far behind. Again, in my own neighborhood, on the street I live on the normal route that I always do. It was a day just like any other. If I was 2 seconds later, if I didn't turn my Wahoo on while I was tying my shoes, because that's a habit I do to get out the door as quickly as possible. If I decided to pat my dog on the head really quick, which I sometimes do before I go out for a ride. If I was 2 seconds slower and didn't push super hard on my route that day, I would have been gone. That's it. But no, I'm on a bike, okay? So biking is dangerous. That's on me. Driving an Audi at 65 miles an hour in a residential 25-mile-an-hour zone, blowing through all the stop signs and running from the cops, that's not dangerous. I'm the dangerous one because I'm on the bike. And being from such a car-dependent culture, I honestly am just used to it. I expect it. I don't care if somebody thinks it's my fault that I died because I was on a bike. I'm dead. What do I care? I'm gone. Hello, Jesus. I mean, hopefully. For my beliefs, it's God's decision when it's your time to go home. There's no arguing with that. So there's 3 things that we can do. We can just ignore that, but when we have near-death experiences like I had, or like my friend Matt had, it's hard to ignore that. Or we can let the fear control our lives, because the world is a dangerous place. It's amazing that more people don't die every day. Getting behind the wheel of a car is the most dangerous thing that people will do in their lives, and people do it every day without thinking about it. So if you do want to think about it, you could let that fear control your life and never do anything with your life, because being at home, surrounded by 4 walls and a roof, is comfortable and safe. Except here in Taiwan, where I experienced a gnarly earthquake when I was at home. Same thing in Mexico City. It is going. It is going. Ah, not again. Every place I go has earthquakes. Holy. I'm sure if it's safe to go inside right now. Electricity is out all over town. Still really shook. My landlord just told me that in Mexico City, you're not Supposed to hide under furniture because the city is built on a lake and the foundations suck, and what you're supposed to do is bolt for the door. So good thing I hid under the bed there. And we can have that remind us, that fear remind us, that every day is a blessing. Now we don't know when our time is going to be. It could be today, it could be tomorrow. Every time you ride your bike, that could be your last time you ride your bike. 2 seconds. 2 seconds separated me from life and death, and I was on the right side of the 2 seconds. Call it luck, call it God's will. I'm happy to be alive. Treat every day like it is your last. It really could be, because you don't want to arrive at the end of your life wishing that you had done more. And if you're interested in more of these philosophical conversations about life, over on my second channel, Zaki, that I just launched earlier this week, we talk about minimalism, productivity, travel, philosophical stuff that comes to my mind. I feel like I'm living a pretty good life, and I'm very blessed and thankful for the opportunity that I have on God's good earth. So be sure to click the card above to check out my second channel, Zaki, where we talk about more than just bikes.
I just got like a shooting pain out of nowhere. I hate it. Just got a bike fit. Very important detail here, okay? I PR'd on my normal route, which was amazing, might I add, okay? I shaved off 4 minutes of my hour effort, which was amazing. Got home, said, yeah, let's go for a cool-off lap by the ocean. Big mistake. Cool-off lap led to me getting hit by a goddamn car. It was bad, you know. It's just someone not paying attention. It's an unprotected left turn. I was going straight. It was just a bad situation. It was kind of unbelievable because, you know, you expect people to see you when you're raising your hand in the air saying, yo, I'm right here, okay, and still get hit. But at the end of the day, it's like I'm hoping that people who were witness to it, people who were involved, they would just be a little more careful next time, because I mean, it was in the middle of the intersection. I got ran through, and I rolled on top of the car, hit the windshield, smashed my elbow into the windshield and tore it open. I rolled on the car and basically ended up on the ground. And it's pretty traumatizing. You can't really walk away with that and think like your next ride's going to be just fine. You know, you're always going to have that in the back of your head. You're always going to be haunted by that. And pretty intense situation.
So it's not your fault.
I don't know. I was just going straight, you know. I wasn't trying to take a left or right, just going straight. Just mind my own business. I still have a lot of limitations. I'm not able to bend or extend. So that's one great thing about this. But at the same time, if you think about it, right, if you're riding the bike, maybe that's all you really need, right? That's all you really need. This is aero position, right? You know, who needs the hoods, right? Who needs a hood when you can just hold it right here? I'm making all these jokes, but I'm hoping maybe in a few months to a year or more, or whatever, everything's gonna be back to normal again. Mostly I'll sit on the trainer for a couple of miles, but it's not involving my hands, it's just my legs. My legs are now feeling much better, but it's enough to handle some of the indoor cycling. It also kind of pushes you to look out for others a little bit more, because you don't want this to happen to anyone else. Honestly, I'm grateful that I'm in the state that I am now, because this could have been way worse. You know, I could have snapped my neck. Anything could have happened, really. But this was the worst of the accident. Even experiencing the near-death experience, it's worth it to me to get out and ride. Like, why would I want to live in fear? Maybe, you know, I don't want to cycle inside forever. Anything can happen at any point in your life, but ultimately, are you going to let death or the chance of death stop you from doing what you love? I definitely still want to ride. Absolutely. Never going to stop me.
This video is sponsored by Wabi Cycles. For the past 2 years or so, Wabi and I have been collaborating to make some of the sickest production bikes that you can get, with what we've been calling the special Wabi Specials. No other production fixed gear on the market comes with chrome lugs. There's not even that many that have lugs in the first place. And for any steel lover, accentuating that old school lugged construction with chrome to contrast against the ube purple or emerald black just really makes the fixie point sing. So if you're looking for your bike that's good enough to last you for the rest of your life, be sure to check out Wabi Cycles, linked in the description. Fixie famous shoutouts to Brent David, Mario Perez, Brandon Black, and Julian Corona for helping to make these fixed gear videos possible through their support on Patreon. And remember that life is short, but don't make it shorter, so be sure to ride your bike every day to be reasonably dangerous. I'm done riding my bike though. Freaking summer in Taiwan. It's rough, but I'm happy that I'm even alive to be able to sweat. So, is chill.